Welcome to the Value Builder Podcast, where we focus on real estate with a value-add mindset. Real strategies, real operators, real outcomes. Let's dive in.
All right. So hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. This is impromptu. We're doing the first time in the studio at my home. I have my good friend Slava visiting here in Chicago. He is at one of his projects, and I thought let's sit down and chat here for.
Thank you for having me, Saul. Thrilled to be here. Thrilled to spend time with you. We just had a great dinner with duck, and every time I sit down with you, I just learn a ton. So life, business. So great to be here, man.
So with that, before we dive in deeper, for someone who does not know you or haven't heard about you, tell me briefly, quickly, where you're from, what you do, and yeah, and let's get in commercial real estate. So
Yeah. So I'm like you. I'm an immigrant. I'm proud to be an immigrant. I came from the former Soviet Union. You as well, Lithuania, Ukraine, and for me, it was actually illegal. My dad actually had a little business he was doing as we were leaving the country. It was illegal to have your own business in the Soviet Union.
yeah.
If you got caught, you'd be in jail.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You remember that?
I remember that exactly.
Yeah. So to me, to be in America is just a gift and a privilege to have a business. And I've always had a business. So starting from a young age. And in terms of real estate, I've been doing real estate investing for 18 years. I'm be 45 in a couple of days, 18 years. And you know the Johnny Cash song, I've been everywhere, man. That's me in real estate. So we've done flips, we've done multifamily, not a huge scale. We've done infill urban development. We bought a funeral home and turned it into a hotel. We built a couple of hotels, historic hotels, and it was all great. But where I am right now, I used to build luxury condos for high-end clientele. I love where we are now because we're buying these ugly boxes, we're painting them. There might be retail, there might be flex industrial, but it's simple. My customers are business owners, not snotty condo clients are not tenants. So that's what we do. We focus on industrial and retail.
That's awesome. All right, so I'm really curious if you can tell us the moment when you decided to go from residential to commercial real estate, and why. Just because many of the viewers and whoever is listening, I think they're at the cusp of jumping from residential to commercial, and I think actually very few people do it, and I think many people associate that with the high risk and stuff like that. Do you remember your thought process? When was it, and when decision, what did it happen, and how it was?
Yeah. 2020, COVID.
Yeah.
I was part of a mastermind group, and there was one guy there that was doing commercial real estate. And I was actually Matt Onofrio. Yeah, story for another time. And, I was really inspired kind of by seeing what he was doing. I was trying to figure it out. And my whole thing was that I tried to figure out myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of obscure, right? Because I didn't know about courses at the time. So I was trying to find books on it. Couldn't find any books on it. And, retail, industrial. I mean, you drive by these buildings, we go in these buildings all the time. I know nothing about them. I know what it's like to live in a house, 'cause I live in a house. I know what it's like to rent an apartment. So rent an apartment. That's all natural to me. But commercial was just so obscure to me. But what was happening was I was doing infill urban development. I can actually tell you exactly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It was a moment. It was kind of like my crown jewel of a project at the time. I bought a two-family house in Boston, the city of Boston, in the city. It was on a bigger lot. I got approval to get it knocked down, build something bigger. It's a very political variance process. You get approval from this guy, this guy. So, man, I would sit in the kitchen table of every single neighbor. So the kitchen table, 7 to 9 p.m. It was like I was trick-or-treating, going house to house to do this, to get their support, they get their signature. So when I got in front of the zoning board, they would approve the project. I did this for months. And then there was one neighbor there that somehow she got to the Mayor Marty Walsh of Boston at the time. The night before, we're about to go in front of the zoning board. The next day, we got support from everybody. We get all our back channeling. I got my expensive lawyer. It's all connected. My lawyer calls me, says, Slava, I can't do the project. Marty called me. The mayor called me. He said he can't support the project. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is not a 100-unit complex. This is a 9-unit building. Somebody got to him, and it went from 9 units to 6 units, which just chalked about $1.5 million off my pro forma. And I was just like, and I was just done. I'm not a politician. I'm a builder. And I was like, I got to do something different. There's really there was a ceiling on scaling up in the city of Boston. So I just wanted to, what do you say, like an extra comma, an extra zero. I want to do bigger projects. I want to do bigger checks, do more money, but I just didn't want to do politics anymore. So that's when I switched over.
Okay. And that was
2021. Yeah.
And you just sold everything cold turkey, or?
No, it was actually a while to unwind because I've been doing this for 18 years.
Yeah.
And I had legacy projects. I had stalled projects. We had COVID, and I had, I was doing co-living at the time. Co-living.
I know. Yeah.
I was doing co-living before it was called co-living. And I have like co-living tends to be like, oh, we can't pay rent. I'm like, did you lose your job? They're like, no, we just don't want to pay you rent. It's like, so I was just dealing with all that, unwinding all that stuff. So it took me about 2 years. So we didn't buy our first building until 2022. And luckily I got these two great mentors that came along. One's name is Rafik Moore. The other name is Saul Z. You might know.
Oh, thank you.
So I was really, really lucky. And I don't know if you remember what I told you at the time. I was like, Saul, you're the coach. I'm the player on the field.
I remember that.
That was my whole thing. I was like, because I knew that commercial was a mentorship game.
Yeah.
Right. You learn to buy it through a mentorship model, but I can't. Nobody's got time to like sit there and mentor. Maybe you didn't have time for that. So my whole thing is I wanted to take time off of your plate and off of Rafik's plate, and wanted to and I called my business partner Jaime. I was like, Jaime, we got to drop everything else. We got to impress these guys.
There you go.
So all we were trying to do that first year was just impress you guys. I don't know if you.
That's what it was. We definitely were impressed for sure. No, that was such a great deal. And that's the first time I had experienced actually someone who's doing the work at my pace, my quality, and actually is getting done. It was real amazing. In the first project, that was the fastest turnaround, I think.
It was good. It was a really good outcome, and it was just like it was cool because we had such a good rhythm too. It was like we call you. It was like bam, bam, bam. Like I'm talking like a 6-minute conversation.
Exactly.
And then boom, that just finds our strategy for the next 2 weeks. And we do another like quick call, me, you, Rafi. Okay, let's add Saul to the call. And then boom, boom, boom. And we go for another 2 weeks. Yeah, that's how it was.
Yeah. And construction was moving fast. We leased up so quickly. It was great. That was amazing. Yeah. 2020 was the time when I sold also my residential. I remember Scott it was a call. And he was encouraging, to sell and get liquid as much as possible. And I had a question about the housing, and I literally put everything in the market in June. Yeah, it was June. And I think by September, I pretty much sold all the houses. I just had some land left, which I'm still have some lots left. I'm still building a little bit, but I don't have it residential. It was 2020. And I bought my first biggest commercial deal in March 6th. Of 2020, and it was school bus terminals, and schools shut down March 15th.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But that was a great deal, actually. We just refinanced 5-year. Shay, who's my partner right now, his mom was an investor at the time. That was my first big deal, first indication. And COVID started. Everyone's delayed on checks. My commercial deal never stopped paying.
Wow.
It was cool. Even buses didn't go anywhere.
It's still paying.
Yeah.
It's still paying.
So yeah, so my realization was, just I now mind that it's actually more risky, So
yeah. And it was, and God Shield really did help drive so much of what we did, because he told me like interest rates are about to go up, refinance now, right? And like I at my first seminar with him, and I called my partner. I was like, we got to refi, we got to sell. And luckily we did those things. But I think I was in Commercial Academy for a year, spinning my wheels, so hungry, trying to get a deal. I couldn't get a deal until we did that first one together in Lindenhurst. Yeah.
And then many deals later were there.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. So let's dive in right now today. So can you tell me, what are you doing? We're working right now. What deals, if you're liberty to share, what deals are you cooking right now?
Okay. Yeah. So we're approaching our key metric is just the way we do it is we're approaching $60 million in assets under management, stabilized, meaning when we buy them, we cook them, as you say.
Yeah.
And once they become stabilized, that's where we're approaching. Square footage wise, I can't tell exactly, but we have a few in New England. We have a few, the one with you in Lindenhurst. We have another one here outside Chicago. And then we have a few in North Carolina. Retail, and flex industrial. Our smallest building is, we just sold our smallest building, but our second smallest building is 17,000 square feet. And our biggest building is the one we have with you is 82,000.
Okay. So you're focusing on flex and retail.
Yeah.
Can you share why?
So retail, what I love about retail, and Scott says this, is that, and this is true of flex too, but a single stroke of a lease agreement raises the value of your property,
Exactly.
and with retail, going through your real life boot camp for 6 months to see just the speed, intensity, which like you do your leasing. I wish we were still doing it at the same speed, by the way, but we're able to do a retail. So you can buy, we're just talking about you can buy a building that's 60% occupied. Within 6 months, you can have it be 90% occupied.
Exactly.
If you hustle. If you're lazy, you can do it in a year, So that's why I love retail. I love that.
But you realize that that's not industry standard what we do. Typically, right? When you see those retail buildings here, they sit for 2-3 years vacant. But if they're small boxes, there's no reason they can be leased up 2 boxes a month. I remember in self storage used to be like almost hardcore performer. It's 3% a month. That's how you lease up.
Yeah.
No, we lease up 30% out. If you go fast enough. So yeah, that's a great model, actually. Great model for what we do.
I mean, I gotta help. All I'm doing is replicating what you do. I'm not just saying this to flatter you. We're recording, but this is really what we do. I remember we went to visit your place, the mall. You bought the distressed mall in Piqua, and you could see coming down the highway these massive red signs that say "For lease, call this phone number."
Yeah.
And the magic of what you do, when somebody calls your phone, what you do?
You answer.
Exactly.
Exactly.
We say in our apartment company, am I allowed to curse?
Yeah, of course.
We say puff, which doesn't actually work, but pick up the effing phone.
Oh my God.
So puff it doesn't work phonetically, but I tell my guys, puff, you do that. If you just if you put up a for lease sign and you answer the call, you're automatically ahead of, what do you say, 90% of the
90% of the game.
out there. Yeah.
Exactly. So how you do your leasing right now? Do you still do the same way like you did within Linderhurst? Did you change the model? I'm just curious, if you changed anything.
We don't do as much SEO, SEM as you do. It's not our core competency. But what we do is we do a lot of outbound. We do a lot of DMs. I got a lot of that from you. I got that from Beth Azer as well.
Remember we worked together with it.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing when you get like one lunch and it's like, So we do. We have. I don't remember the KPIs, but we have a KPI of several hundred DMs per week that we send out, that our leasing people send out. We do some canvassing, again, school of Beth Azer. I wish we did more of it. We got training people. Our leasing person actually is overseas. So we have a really strong person. She's overseas, but she's more than sufficient for someone who needs to just pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And answer a call and do the follow-ups and so on.
And how do you show the property?
It's evolving, but we have a door opener. So
it's a third-party door opener, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So ask me again in 6 months, and you might have a different answer.
Yeah.
So, and when the market's hotter, that works. When the market's colder, we need to pick up speed.
I can share what we do. Typically, we're if it's retail or if it's a small bay industrial, if it's a large enough property, we actually do it with a general manager.
Okay.
We do sometimes with an opener, but if that does not work, actually, we pay commission to a broker. So and it's not like we don't want to pay the commission to the broker. You're just finding the broker who is willing to show not qualified tenant a property within next 4 hours. Say, right. So so that's the name of the game, especially booking those appointments. So
yeah. We tried with Lindenhurst. We interviewed probably about 10 brokers. We were underwhelmed, so we did it ourselves. But in Houston, where we had our problem child, that's when we actually had a broker there. Let's dive into Houston. I just saw a post. I'm like, I want to talk about this deal now. So tell me the story. What happened? It was, I'm assuming it was the first single tenant. Okay, so lead it. Okay. So I never stepped foot in Houston before. Never owned medical office before. So we bought a medical office building in Houston. So we were
dark, vacant, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were playing around with auctions, and this is going back about a year. Our model then was we can go into any geography. All we need to do is, do the metrics. Again, school of Saul, school of Rafi, school of Scott Shield is understanding the density, the demographics, so on. So this checked all the boxes, density, demographics, and we looked at what the lease rates were. They were like $25 a foot. Great,
Then you're wrong.
great, right?
Exactly.
The traffic counts were decent. It had good retail all around it. Incomes were high. They were like, I want to say like 70.
Okay.
Median house income was like 70. I worked out memory. I mean, they're better than other stuff. Yeah, decent. Density was great. And then rents were like 25. So it was going on auction. Our strike price was, I think, 1.1. The auction went. We got it for $850. We're stoked.
Yeah.
$892 all in. We're in for $892. 10,000 square feet, 2 units. It was a former doctor's office on one side and retail on the other. We bought it on Friday. By Monday, our copper lines were gone.
Oh my God.
So I didn't know you could even do this. I didn't know it was a thing, but apparently if you are a master electrician, and it helps if you have like a meth addiction, you could go steal copper lines and you're very good at it. So that's what this guy did. And they didn't steal the overhead ones. So I was like, how do you do it? He cut them and pulled them from underground.
Oh my God.
Like I watched videos afterwards, you can find it. They used like a pickup truck to pull these out. So he got all the copper, so we had no power in the building. So we thought, and again, we bought it on Friday. We knew this happened over the weekend. We're like, they're going to come in and now the next thing they're going to do, they're going to steal all the copper in the building. So we hired like armed security for the weekend and like all this crazy stuff. But so that was our welcome party to Houston. And then when we got there also, sight unseen, we knew we were taking a calculated risk. Okay. And then also I should say this.
So, okay. Did you go see the building before you closed?
No.
Not even?
No.
Because we had something between
Yes.
between earnest money and closing.
Sorry.
Okay.
Before we closed, yes. Before we were on the auction, no.
Okay.
But we were not going to back out of it regardless.
Exactly.
So when we went to see it after we won it, after the copper was already stolen, we get there and there's like a tent city on the front parking lot. It's like, just homeless guys just came out there.
Oh my God.
Next to like Jared Jewelers. It was just, anyway, so we got there. So we had to like get that cleaned up. We got that cleaned up. We got them to move out. And then we replaced the copper with aluminum because they don't steal aluminum. So he made like $2,000. It cost us about $25,000 to replace it. And then we start leasing. And, normally we do.
So it's 5,000 square feet and 5,000 square feet, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We start doing the leasing. And usually we get like at least 1 or 2 calls a week just from putting on LoopNet and whatever. Nothing. Crickets. A week goes by, another week goes by. All right. So we start calling brokers. Hey, do you want to lease this space? Do you want to lease the space? So what we found out, it's going to be pretty obvious what we should have done is that there is a huge oversupply of medical and retail in this little pocket right here. It's Cypress, next to Cypress Creek Mall. We're thinking, okay, we're close to the city. Houston's here. Cypress Creek is here. Tomball is here. Nice suburb. We're closer to Houston. We're going to have more demand. Everything moved out to Tomball. The cities, they are built differently than the Northeast where I come from. There's a huge oversupply. There was no demand for it. We asked brokers, how long is it going to take to lease? They're like, maybe 2 years. And I was like, what does 2 years mean? He's like, maybe never. Basically what he's telling us. So I just started calling tenants. I started doing this thing, cold calling tenants. Do you want to move your daycare here? Do you want to move your boutique here? Like anybody, move in there. And I interviewed so many brokers, and then thank you to Alan Schnorr. He introduced me to a broker, and the guy just had like the right level hustle. At the same time, one lead came in, we introduced him to that lead. They were going to rent it out. Instead, they decided to buy it. So luckily, we ended up getting a buyer. We sold it. We bought it for $892. We sold it for $1.5. After paying our debt because we got short-term money, we cleared between 3 partners $300,000, which is okay. But I, kind of looking back on it. My partners they just wanted to unload it. Like, let's get rid of it. But, because we bought it right, because we got it for $89 a foot, we were safe kind of no matter what we did, we had time. So yeah, very happy to be out of that one.
890 bought it. So I saw in a post that you were nervous about this deal. So do you think that this would move regardless very quickly at that price? Or when you bought it, it was like, I don't know if it's going to even sell at 400 right now. Was there a moment like that or no?
No, I wasn't nervous about it because one, don't get me wrong, $800,000 is a huge amount of money for an immigrant from Ukraine. But it was a smaller deal. We were not using other people's money. We were using our own money. And maybe it's just because I didn't have investors. Because if I had investors, maybe I'd be stressing. But but I had nobody else to let down, only
Yeah.
myself. So there's that aspect of it. And then in the end, I knew stuff was leasing for $20 a foot. So I knew eventually we could get someone for 15 at least.
Mhm.
And using the rule of thumb you taught me
Mhm.
in your truck in like my first week
Yeah.
with you, if you're buying it for $9 a foot, you're leasing it 15, you're golden.
Golden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly. Yeah. With 15, the building is worth 1.5 at least.
exactly.
That's great. Great story, man. All right. What else we can? What about your current acquisitions now? Any project you want to share that's exciting?
Yeah, we got a couple. I think the one that I'm most excited about right now, we actually just got it on market. It's in North Carolina, 105,000 square feet, industrial. We got it for about $45 a square foot.
Mm-hmm.
3 buildings. We like 3 buildings.
Mhm.
It's a single tenant there now.
Mhm.
It's going to be there for another year. We're buying it in place 7 cap, which is okay, not enough to cash flow. But when that tenant leaves, we can lease it, and it should be like a 11-12% cap rate when they leave. But what's kind of cool is that it's like 100,000 square feet. I remember when I walked into your place in Milwaukee,
Yeah, it's
the American, what's it called?
no, it was Milwaukee Tech Center.
Milwaukee Tech Center.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the American flag.
Yeah.
How big is that one?
It was 165,000 square feet on 15 acres.
I'd never seen anything that big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just kind of funny that you talked about going from residential to commercial. Big building for me used to be a 3,000 square foot
Exactly.
house.
Yeah.
And now 100,000, I'm like, okay, it's a medium-sized deal, So I just like that we're just totally in our comfort zone buying something of that size.
So that 100,000 square feet. So when the tenant moves out, are you splitting them smaller bays, or are you leasing them at 30,000 square feet?
We're gonna, yeah, they're not exactly 30, but we're gonna either lease it at 30,000 square feet each, or there's a way to naturally divide it into 5. So we either lease it as 3 or lease it at 5. We're gonna let the market kind of determine that. We're gonna put up for lease and see what we get.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. All right, man. No, that's I really, really enjoyed this conversation. Normally I like to finish up with a one personal question, if you don't mind.
Let's do it.
So what I have for you is all right. So the question I have is, what 3 books would you take it as a good sign if potential partner had read them? These books, if you know that potential partner, well, investor or a partner read those 3 books, you think, yeah, he's probably a good partner.
We're actually hiring people right now. We're hiring like a integrator. So it's actually a really interesting thought. So one, we were talking about this earlier today, Traction, Gino Wickman.
Okay.
Yeah, just because we're really thinking operationally right now.
Mhm.
So if they're doing that, means they're systems thinkers. The other one is, I gotta say, Chris Voss, Never Split the Difference. Yeah,
That's a good one.
it just tells me that they have an EQ. They're dialed in for EQ. They're paying attention. They're communicating with people and so on. And then probably something on I'm trying to think of a book that captures my values really well. One I just read recently, I don't know if this would be the first that comes to mind, but the one that comes to mind now is Die with Zero.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
great book.
yeah. Just about putting life ahead of what building an accumulation of wealth and so on. Yeah,
Yeah, I can see you're getting in that chapter of your life.
yeah.
That's amazing. All right, so for the viewers, where can I find you? I know if you're raising the capital, looking for more deals, where can I find you guys?
So Good Harbor Commercial Real Estate is our company. We don't have that much on social media there. On Instagram, LinkedIn, you can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook. And my Instagram is my full name, Slava Menn.
Awesome. All right, so I'll put everything in the comments. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. And I enjoyed it. It was the first time we did this in this cold studio, and we'll see how that's gonna come out. Appreciate it. Thanks, brother.
Cool, thanks.
All right, thank you.
You've been listening to the Value Builder podcast. For more strategies, stories, and episodes, head to valuebuilder.co or subscribe on your favorite app. Always make it better than you found it and keep adding value. See you in the next one.